The Keeper of Secrets. The storm outside raged violently, lashing against the windows of the small-town store where Elijah Monroe had spent the last 5 years of his life. Shelves stood orderly under the dim glow of the overhead lights, casting eerie shadows that flickered with each flash of lightning. It was a quiet night, much like any other, except for the unsettling feeling gnawing at his gut. The books didn't add up. Elijah had always been a man of precision, meticulous in his work, and when he spotted an accounting error, a glaring discrepancy that could put the store in jeopardy, he knew he had 2 choices. He could ignore it, let it slide, and pretend he never saw it. Or he could take the risk and report it to his manager, Charles Harrington, a man known for his unpredictability. Most employees feared Charles, for he had a reputation for crushing anyone who stood in his way. But Elijah wasn't most employees. Summoning courage, he stepped into the back office, his heart hammering. Charles looked up from his desk, eyes sharp as a hawk's. "What is it, Monroe?" Elijah swallowed hard, but stood firm. "There's a problem with the books. I found an error that could cost the store thousands." For a moment, there was silence. Then, instead of the expected rage, Charles leaned back, studying him. "You're an honest man, Monroe. That's rare." The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. What came next shocked Elijah more than the storm outside. Instead of being reprimanded, Charles promoted him to a higher position. But with great power came great responsibility and even greater secrets. Days turned into weeks, and as Elijah settled into his new role, he noticed anomalies, patterns hidden in plain sight. There were shipments that never arrived, invoices for products that didn't exist, and whispers in the shadows about something much darker than mere accounting mistakes. The deeper he dug, the more he realized that the store was a facade, a cover for something far more sinister. Then there was her, Lena Caldwell. She wasn't just another employee, she was a mystery wrapped in an enigma, with eyes that held secrets darker than the night. She had been at the store longer than anyone, yet no one seemed to know much about her. Elijah couldn't shake the feeling that she knew more than she let on. One evening, as he locked up, he caught sight of Lena disappearing into the basement, a place employees were forbidden to enter. His pulse quickened. Following her silently, he descended the creaking stairs, the air thick with dust and something unspoken. What he saw changed everything. Rows upon rows of forgotten records, hidden ledgers, and evidence of transactions that tied the store to a network of underground dealings. Smuggling, laundering, things Elijah had only read about in crime novels. And in the middle of it all stood Lena, her expression unreadable. "You shouldn't be here," she murmured. "Neither should you." A tense silence followed. Then, she exhaled, her walls crumbling just enough to let him in. "You were never meant to find this," she admitted. "But now that you have, you need to know the truth." The store wasn't just a store. It was a gateway, a meeting place for those who operated outside the law, where fortunes were made and lives were ruined. Charles wasn't just a manager, he was the mastermind behind it all. And Lena was trapped, bound by a past she couldn't escape. Elijah faced a choice. He could walk away, pretend he never saw anything, and continue living in ignorance. Or he could expose the truth and risk everything, including his life. But the decision was made for him when Charles found out. A deadly game of cat and mouse ensued. Elijah and Lena became fugitives in their own town, hunted for knowing too much. Betrayal lurked in every corner, and trust became a luxury they couldn't afford. Together, they pieced together evidence, determined to bring Charles down. As they delved deeper, they uncovered something even more chilling. Charles had skeletons in his closet, literally. The basement held more than just financial records. It was a tomb for those who had tried to stand against him. The final confrontation came on a night much like the one when it all began. The storm raged once more as Elijah and Lena confronted Charles in the very office where it had started. The man who had once seemed untouchable now stood cornered, his empire crumbling. But evil never surrenders easily. A gun was drawn. A shot rang out. Elijah felt the searing pain before he saw the blood. But before darkness could claim him, Lena stepped forward, determination burning in her eyes. With one final act of defiance, she ended Charles's reign, ensuring he would never hurt anyone again. In the aftermath, the store closed, its dark past buried beneath layers of dust and forgotten memories. Elijah survived, forever changed by what he had uncovered. Lena, free at last, disappeared into the world, leaving behind only a whisper of her presence. The experience left Elijah with more than just scars. It left him with a lesson. Honesty had given him a promotion, but truth had nearly cost him everything. In the end, he realized something profound. Some secrets were meant to be unearthed, no matter the cost, because only by facing the darkness could one ever hope to find the light. And so, as he stood before the abandoned store one last time, he whispered a silent farewell, knowing that his story had only just begun.
Whispering echoes.